Hello world, Gus again. June 23rd, 2009. Ever stop and think when you were a kid that summer just started and days are already getting shorter again? Is that an oxymoron or what? You know, we look forward to summer and it's slowly disappearing already. Nice bright sunny day out here near Seattle, Washington. Just off to my left shoulder there, I can look out my window and see Mount Rainier. It's one of the reasons we bought this house. I do get a great view of it every day. My friend John back in New Jersey tells me I'm a good storyteller, and I guess one of the reasons I am is I've got all these stories from my life embedded in my head. Maybe it's an advantage to be in a wheelchair. You can sit around all day and think. But today I want to take you back to my childhood and to a time and place of innocence. Now, back in the 50s, boys having baseball gloves and balls and bats and all that was nothing. But somewhere in that time period, the NFL football became very popular, and a new toy was available, and that was helmets and shoulder pads. Well, whenever we played football in the fall, the other boys, I guess most of the kids, or some of the kids had them, and I didn't, and I wanted a helmet and shoulder pads. Put the shoulder pads on, look really tough. Well, I didn't have any. Well, one day we're going to have a little football game out on my front lawn. Probably 4 or 5 of us kids: Joey Palmer, Dale Fry, my cousins Larry, Albert. I don't know who was involved. But prior to this little game, I'm going to go around the house, as I often did, and see what I could find to make my football uniform. And I guess my search mainly took on looking for shoulder pads. I guess I didn't think about a helmet, but I was looking for shoulder pads. So I'm rooting around the house, seeing what I could find to put up underneath my shirt and make shoulder pads. I know this had to be my train of thought. So I happened to get into my mother's closet, and there on the floor of the closet was a big box of blue bandages. And I held these in my hand and I said, hey, I can stuff these up there in my sleeves and I can have muscles and shoulder pads. So that's what I proceeded to do, is stuff a half dozen, I don't know how many there was, up into my shirt. So I proceeded to go outside, and in a very few minutes, as these games often only lasted, we played a little football, but not being attached to my body, these bandages started to fall out onto the lawn, and we were too busy kicking, punting, tackling, and all that, and giggling, to really pay attention to what was laying all over the lawn. Well, unbeknownst to me, my mother and my grandmother were in the house, standing at the window, looking out at our little game, totally embarrassed, but they said later on, totally laughing their guts out at what was laying all over the lawn. Now, some of you youngsters won't know this term. Your mother, whatever, will have to explain this to you. But I had used my mother's Kotex for my shoulder pads. Feminine hygiene products, they're now called. And they were spread all over the lawn. And that's my story today. Bye now.